So today we're going to be talking about our latest issue of Cricket Fanatics Magazine, and that is the Club Cricket Edition, our first ever Club Cricket Edition. And I thought it would be an interesting conversation to have after we treated you last night. So it's a good opportunity for us to chat about the magazine, to chat about club cricket, the importance of club cricket within South African cricket, and we also will chat a little bit about what that means from what we can learn from the club cricket system, perhaps in India, if it is a big thing in India, for example. So I think we can learn some lessons from Aditya on that. I can maybe chat a little bit about what I've learned about club cricket up until this point, and up until we did our my latest issue of the Cricket Fanatics Magazine Monthly, which is all about exploring the world of club cricket. But before we get going, before we get started, please subscribe to this channel. Please click that notification bell for all future videos. I want to say welcome to all the new subscribers that subscribed after yesterday's interview. Welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine, of course, because this is the show where we do daily shows on cricket in South Africa. But without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Don't want to take too long with this one. I want to be able to get through everything and do it quite thoroughly. So let's get into it. Very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host Khalid, and this is my co-host Aditya. And today we will be chatting about our latest issue of Cricket Fanatics Magazine. It is issue number 23, and it's about club cricket. So you can download your free subscription right away. The link is in the description, as well as on the screen right now. If you want the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics Magazine, that's what you need to do. Go and get your free subscription right away. That's the cover of the latest issue. There are two particular articles that are on the front cover of this one, and that's the human connection and we need more youngsters. Both of those articles I want to talk about on today's show because I feel that it really will give us some good insight into what is happening in club cricket and what the issue is with regards to club cricket. Now, Aditya, I'm sure you've had a look through some of the magazine. What are some of the lessons that you maybe pulled out of this particular issue before I get going into my thought process?
Well, I think the most important one for me is that there was a period of time where club cricket was not used for its intended purpose, which is as a feeder system for players to go into the professional setup. And I think somewhere in between there was that gap there. But now it appears as if club cricket has once again become that feeder as a result of the restructuring of the domestic system, and it is an avenue that can be used uh, to develop players and ultimately ensure that they're good enough to join a certain domestic team when the time is right.
Mhm. So the conversations that I've had with quite a few cricketers actually in South Africa, I've had this conversation a lot because I wanted to know where we stand in our club cricket system. If you look at generally in other sports or particularly in football, the club scene in football is quite big, and it's normally the feeder into the international sides. If you do well for your club, then you get picked for your international team. A good example for that is the Netherlands currently with Louis van Gaal. Louis decided, and because I'm a Dutch supporter, maybe that's maybe why I know this information. But there's a player that is part of Manchester United, Donny van der Beek, who never got selected because he didn't get regular game time at Manchester United. And even when he moved over to Everton, it wasn't enough to obviously keep his spot within the national side, which is quite strange, which is quite a shame because he's a very talented player. Now I feel that the club cricket scene is different. I was always hoping that that would be the feeder, but we have a domestic level as well with Western Province, etc., and Boland, and with Gauteng, and with the Northerns, etc., and that tends to be the feeder into the national side. But when I speak to cricketers about club cricket and try to get into their mind and understand why club cricket is good for them, they particularly always mention, well, majority of the guys that I've spoken to, they mention the fact that when they're in school and they have an opportunity to play for a club, they suggest that you do and you take it because you get exposed to a different type of pressure in club cricket than you do in domestic cricket. Now, you are playing with a lot of guys that are men, they have full time jobs, they're coming on the weekend, so that's their release. So, you're dealing with a total different group of people, and you have to be mature quite quickly because you're also not playing on the best of pitches and the best grounds as well. Club cricket grounds are not at the same standard as the likes of Newlands and the big stadiums that you play your domestic games in. So it can really be tough to score runs, and it can really teach you lessons very early on and how to mature quickly. And if you look at the likes of some of the players that we can mention, George Linde is a good example. His time playing for Durbanville Cricket Club, I think it was, it really helped him develop into the cricketer he is today. I remember doing an interview with him speaking about that before Cricket Fanatics Magazine, and we've had plenty of conversations off the field as well about that. There are a lot of players locally that we've seen, especially the ones that I know in Western Province, particularly that have gotten the opportunities because of club cricket. Um, so, club cricket is very important that we have a pipeline there of talent. We had the convener of selectors for the Western Province team, Nazim White, talk about this as well, saying how important it is. In fact, as the convener of selectors last season, he gave a couple of club guys opportunities. You know, he's very strong in the club scene, very active in the club scene, and understanding what's going on. So it's very important that we do maintain that club scene. But what has happened now within cricket is a lot of the people that started off playing cricket for clubs, they've been playing for the club scene for a very long time, and they're a lot older right now. So we're getting a group of a lot of older people don't have dreams of playing cricket for the rest of their life. They literally just want to play club cricket on the weekend and have some fun. We're seeing a lot of that being dominated, or a lot of those type of players main, getting positions within the club setup. And our youngsters are not necessarily coming through that system. If you don't make it as a domestic semi-pro cricketer, you tend to get lost in the system. And I feel that's because of the club cricket arena is not offering enough, maybe for our cricketers, enough incentive for them to stay. Because ultimately, if you're not going, if your dream of becoming a professional cricketer doesn't work out and you don't get a semi-pro contract, people don't get paid to play club cricket. Not even okay, majority don't get paid to go play club cricket. There are exceptions to the rules at certain clubs where they do pay you salaries, but as a as a rule, you don't get paid. So you have to then study. You have to go find a job. You have to go and find a different way or avenue of making a career for yourself and trying to still keep your dream alive. We heard about Donovan Ferreira. That was a very um, unique situation because normally you would be in a situation where you'd be playing club cricket and working, not playing domestic cricket and then working as well. So that is an opportunity. That is one of those outliers that we can speak about. But I do feel that a lot of players that I've spoken to have spoken about how club cricket has matured them and matured their game because they've had to tough it out in difficult conditions and on difficult pitches.
In your experience, how do the clubs make money?
So in my experience so far, I've seen sponsorships happen. There have been certain sponsorships that have taken place for specific games or specific teams, and that's how clubs make their money in general. That's how, well, from what I know. Now, I honestly thought that with the two divisions, a filter would happen automatically, and some of the talent that are in that used to be in semi-pro cricket would filter down into the club scene, and automatically you would have some household names playing club cricket. That's what my thought process was when I heard that we were going to go to two divisions and lose some teams and contracts. And automatically I felt that because if you can get some A grade players coming through or top talent coming down and playing club cricket, the marketing of it is a lot easier. You can market those games a lot better. Imagine seeing on the billboard Bryce Parsons versus Marcus Ackerman, for example. I'm just giving two names, and they're going to be playing against each other in different teams within Durban. That would be a good draw card to get more people into the stadiums. Now, obviously, ticket sales, the restaurant, all of those type of things that they'll be at the club as well will probably make money too. I don't know how much revenue a club gets from that specifically, but also attendances. If you have to pay to go to club games, but generally clubs don't pay. You don't have to pay to get in. I know that some of our fans that watch the show will be able to give us some insight from being club cricketers themselves. Um, what does Lawrence say over here? Club cricket used to be a pipeline for domestic sides in the past. Huge names in SA cricket of the past used to prioritize club cricket. Not enough effort being made to prioritize club cricket. Now, I feel that's because of the amount of people that are playing club cricket. In the past, I know a lot of people speak about the past and saying that our club system was so good with Fani de Villiers and all of those guys back in the day. And I hear them, but at that time we only had one division really. We didn't really have two divisions. You played, yes, there was more provinces and it was a bigger league, but if you didn't play for your province, you'd play for a club. And that was the way you were going to play cricket. At that time also there was 2-day cricket, which they've kind of taken away as well. Because of the cost to be able to run a 2-day game, it's going to cost a lot. It's cost a lot more money to run a longer format game than it is a shorter format game. So there's a lot of things that I think is
And it's also
involved with this.
scheduling.
Yes, and
Because
scheduling too.
because if you want your top players to play in represent the clubs that they grew up with, then they're not going to be available as much as you probably want them. Lockie Ferguson, for example, he comes from New Zealand. New Zealand has 116 professional cricketers. That's it. Significantly smaller cricket infrastructure than South Africa. But Lockie Ferguson is able to turn out for his club twice a year. That's it.
Wow.
So I think that tells you a story, because if you look at guys like David Miller, for example, then he's obviously playing international cricket, white ball cricket,
Yes.
for the international team. Then he's playing in the IPL and
Mhm.
various leagues around the world. So he basically doesn't have time, because when he comes back to South Africa, he probably wants to rest.
Yeah. And that's why I put emphasis on not on the stars, because it's not them that need to play. It's the guys that are not making it into the semi-pro arena or not making it into Division Two. Even the Division Two guys could play club cricket. There has been some overlaps where some players have played club cricket and played for a province. But with games happening on the weekends, majority of the time, obviously Saturdays and Sunday when it was 2 days. Um, what happens in the end is if you're going to play for your province, you're going to obviously play cricket for. You're not going to play for your club because it's on the weekends. Majority of the time, you're going to be playing cricket, which will be on the weekends for your province. But my concern is that we are not creating enough incentive, or we're not creating a brand within the club system that is attractive enough for cricketers to go and want to play. From a young age already, open it up to, I think maybe opening it up to younger kids so that you can have more clubs available, create some incentive, make it fun for family and friends to come and watch, create a vibe. I know they do that for rugby. I mean, there are rugby clubs like Villages, for example, that's around the corner from my house. Um, it's a club that they don't pay you to play. You're playing for free ultimately. You actually pay to play, to be honest, to get your kits and to get everything that you need for the season, and then you can play for the club. But it's a club with a very nice, great history. They have a nice restaurant area, bar area with TVs and etc., and a nice fast food place there. Good seating. There's a nice environment over there. More than one field. It's a nice little place to have to spend a Saturday and enjoy. And if you look at some of our clubs, they have some excellent grounds around the Cape, for example, alone. The grounds that I've seen, I mean, wow, there's some excellent grounds. Rondebosch Cricket Ground, that's a brilliant. Rondebosch Cricket Club's ground is amazing. Western Province Cricket Club's ground is amazing. I mean, the environment is also good. It's so close to Rondebosch Boys High School as well. Cape Town Cricket Club. There's so many great clubs. We had an article in the magazine about Pioneers Cricket Club, what they're trying to do in this issue. So go and look at that and have a see. Craig Sturton wrote that article, very good insight. So I just feel that we need to create a system or a brand that is attractive to youngsters. We need more youngsters in club cricket, and that's what Grant Morgan spoke about. And I think that if we can market it to those to a younger generation of school kids that feel that they can actually make something out of their life and have a proper opportunity by taking the next step, I think then we're talking, because I think the next generation is the ones that you need to obviously convince if you want to keep this alive, especially when cricket is such a it's not the biggest sport in South Africa, like in other countries like India or in other countries where it is the biggest sport in the country. So it's a lot more difficult to make a kid believe that he can make a life for himself in cricket um, than in other countries, I feel.
In
New
addition to
Zealand is
having,
an exception, though, I would say. New Zealand is special. Whatever they're doing there is
yeah,
special.
yeah, but one thing that we probably can add to the players that probably should be playing club cricket is that, in addition to the younger people, who can sort of develop their games through club cricket, it's equally important for retired cricketers to play club cricket. Avery Villiers, for example, should be playing club cricket in my view. I think it would be hugely beneficial, and it's one way for him to continue staying in the game. But then it's also an opportunity for younger players to sort of develop, because if you look at the Australian system, I believe Mone Mokul plays for a club in Sydney. Then Tilak Ratne Dilshan, the Sri Lankan player, he has moved to Australia. He plays for a club in Melbourne. Kevin Peterson. Kevin Peterson, during his international career in the English winter, he used to go to Australia and play club cricket in Australia. And we're talking about great cricket here. We're not talking about the Sheffield Shield. We're talking about great cricket. So um, yeah, I think that's also an option, right? Like Dale Steyn, for example. He's retired from cricket. If he plays a little bit of club cricket, it would be huge. Um, and I think it would be massively beneficial. But yeah, I'm quite interested to see what Ashwani has to say here, because he mentions here that not only in South Africa but club cricket has declined in the subcontinent as well. Um, Mate, I think you're from Punjab, right, Ashwani? So I see in Mumbai and Maharashtra, typically for the younger players who make their way to the Ranji Trophy, they're typically affiliated with a coach's academy. So I don't know if that qualifies as a club. I don't think it does. Uh, but I think to a certain degree, it can be said that that's the equivalent of a club. But it'd be interesting to see what Ashwani has to say about that, because also the pathways to their domestic team
Yeah.
tend to differ in each state. So the pathway
Oh.
for a player in Mumbai will be very different from the pathway that a player in, say, Punjab has to go through.
Oh, seriously, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we do see that the club scene in certain provinces is a lot better than in others.
Yeah.
I see that in our game. But I
But
mean,
it's also something that Ken Boland, I believe, he brought up during the introduction of the new system, the two-tier system. Where he was talking about certain areas that would be able to sort of have a healthy pipeline of players versus other areas that were perhaps a little bit economically depressed.
mhm. Yeah, and I mean, like I said, like Lawrence is saying over here, put all amateurs in club sides. If you do that, the club scene will take off immediately again, because then there won't be a second tier domestic league other than Division One and Two. Um, and Lorenzo also saying not enough investment in club cricket, especially after colored and African clubs. CSA knows that struggle of these two communities, yet they turn blind eye. Really ridiculous. CSA need to get a grip. I don't know how much CSA can actually be involved within club cricket, and how much the club cricket authorities actually want CSA to get involved. What I would suggest, though, my suggestion would be a little tournament between the Division Two winners and a club winners, and have little tournaments. Maybe you can take your top four, you can play against each other in a little tournament. Um, it would be an incentive for them and a prize money at the end for the club. Takes a club takes the prize money home and it can be invested within their club. I really honestly think I know a lot that I've spoken to some club guys and they've been very anti this idea, but I've been speaking a lot about maybe getting clubs marketing clubs and getting them income so that they can start paying players salaries. I think that the club scene needs to do that because I feel that that's a way to keep our cricketers in the system because if they're getting paid to play the game, then at least they know when they're turning up on a Saturday, it's for something more. It's not just to put on your boots and play. Now that needs to be monitored very carefully as well and very closely because who gets money, who gets more, who gets less. Two players because there's a lot of politics again in club cricket as well. So there's politics everywhere, but in club cricket I feel a little bit more because if you know the club owner, you probably have a bigger chance of making a team than if you don't, for example. So you do get certain, I think you'll probably get some um, fairness. And I think trials will happen. You can have like a, a little competition. I really honestly think that that would really give people incentive and bragging rights. If you get to run out to the middle as a club team against um, for example, Leas Deploy's team, for example, and he's playing in a semi-final against someone in the club scene, you're battling against players that have county cricket experience here. Dalport would be in that too because of their teams and where he forms part of. The players that are in Division Two are not Mickey Mouse players. These are players that a lot of them had had domestic franchise contracts before they went to Division Two. So it's interesting to see that, and I think there needs to be that connection between the two. Lawrence saying like a TKO T20, where the
Yeah.
SA under 19 side was invited to play. Why not play the best clubs around the country in the TKO T20, for example? I want to ask you guys quickly, those guys that play club cricket, Lorenzo, Lawrence, you guys. Is there any tournaments that happen between club cricketers and Varsity Cup? Because that's another scene. There was a Varsity Cup team at Tux not too long ago that had Aiden Markram, Tian Kukamur, Tianis the Brain. They had star players in that Tux team. Um, and players that are at franchise that in the end they had got franchise contracts and are playing for the Proteas. So can you just let me know in the live chat if that is taking place? If there are competitions, are clubs also within the Varsity Cup arena in cricket? Richa, you want to say something?
Question for Lorenzo here, because he said that there's not enough investment in club cricket, especially for the coloured and African clubs. And my question is, what are the gaps? What sort of investment do they need, whether it's in terms of funding players or providing equipment, facilities?
Hmm.
That'd be interesting because
Yes.
again,
I
we've
mean,
talked a lot about
I went
equipment,
through
but
Langa, for example. I went through Langa, for
yes,
example. Now, Langa is one of the newer clubs that have been set up, you could say, because a lot of investment has happened from Temba and from so many other big
yeah,
names in the game as well. Suboto as well. So many big names have given back to club cricket in the Langa area. I think Gary Kirsten has also had some input over there as well. I think I'm not 100% sure, but I know he's had impact in the township too. But it's tough because it depends, like you're saying, it depends the circumstances. It's very difficult to put up cricket nets and things like that in an area that is drug ridden and gang ridden and perhaps even crime has hectic crime because those equipment and things are expensive and can easily be vandalized or or stolen, etc. So there is massive gaps between those clubs and the so-called more classy clubs. You can see a difference even in the pitch and the groundsman, etc. Because to get a groundsman, I mean, if you look at Prim Roses, for example, Prim Roses had an amazing groundsman, former groundsman at Newlands. Actually, Jai's father was the groundsman there. Amazing knowledge about keeping wicket and making sure that you have good wickets and good place to play on. And if you look at the condition of that club compared to a condition of Rondebosch Cricket Club, you can see the difference instantly. You can even say, for example, um, what's that club's name again? Um, in close to Wamba Constantia side. I can't remember what the club's name is. Shit. Anyway, so you look at those grounds and it's unbelievable, unbelievable grounds, beautiful grounds to play on. So the gap is big, unfortunately. And kit, I mean, Langa has a regular kit drive where people come and drop kits and they hand out kit handovers. I've been there before to do so, and we saw with Temba Bavuma's foundation as well, which we've looked at. As well. They do a lot of kit drives as well to give back to the communities and to schools, etc. Um, Transport to games as well is very difficult because these players come from the township and they have to travel long distances to go and play cricket. To get all of these guys to the ground on time, that's going to cost money. Food as well. It's a lot of expenditure, and it's more pricey the lower you go down. So the more you go into colored areas and to Black African areas, the more the quality goes down with regards to, or the more that is needed to give these kids opportunities. Here we go. Lauren saying, Aditya, nets, kids, transport, away games, food, lunch, etc. That's what most colored and African clubs are lacking.
Uh, can you name a couple of colored and African clubs, like perhaps the areas that they come from?
Cool. So Mitchell's
Because
Plain, Hanover Park.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, we have a article within this latest issue of the magazine that Chris Chuanza wrote. It's from Hanover
right.
Park Cricket. I think it's Hanover Park Cricket Club. Or I don't know what the actual name is, but Hanover Park has a cricket club. Calvindale's another option where Actual Prince comes from. That wasn't a club at the beginning that was necessarily state of the art. It was a lot
Which
of
area is it from?
from Galvindale. So,
Okay.
which is a city, a city within Port Elizabeth.
Okay.
And it is a very difficult area to come from and play. It's not the easiest of communities with regards to that. It's similar to Cape Town. If you talk about the Nova Park, Mitchell's Plain, all of those areas. I'm not sure if Lavender Hill has one. I've heard about people that travel to Lavender Hill to play sport, but I'm not sure if they have a cricket team. Kailicha has, Langa has, Guguletu has. So there are cricket clubs in,
Isn't JP Duminy still involved with Mitchell's Plain?
yeah, with his JP21 project. He is a lot involved in Mitchell's Plain, yes, definitely.
Yeah. And
Grassy
is that
Park.
where is that where he grew up as well?
Um, to be honest, I'm gonna lie to you if I tell you that I know he went to Plumstead High,
Okay.
um, and I think he's from Strandfontein actually.
Okay.
Strandfontein also have a cricket club. Strandfontein also have a
Right.
cricket club.
Right.
Oh, there we go. No, that's
Strandfontein.
yeah, Strandfontein Cricket Club.
He's on the
There's
money
also
today.
another one. Strandfontein Cricket Club is another one. Um, I would say Grassy Park has Bluebells Cricket Club. Okay, they're a little bit. They were very well kept together. I mean, Zayed has been very much involved in that club as well. So, but they come from Grassy Park, which is you could say it's on the border between being a dangerous area and a good area to be in. So yeah, there are loads. Whether they are maintained, one of the most historical ones um, is one that is okay. I'm going to get to it. Oh, here we go. We got more Cravenby Cricket Club. Rollins is saying as well. Yeah, there are loads. There are loads of cricket clubs. In Cape Town alone, there's a lot of cricket clubs. I know Joburg also has some excellent cricket clubs as well. Hussein Manak is obviously in charge of one of them. So Malta is Malta Park. No, Malta Park is no. Sorry, Malta Park is where Montrose play, which is another you could say colored cricket club, but these mixed. Actually, I'm good friends with the person in charge over there. And yeah, they always need people to obviously help out and um, donate certain things obviously to get these kids to be able to play. But majority of it, if you look around club cricket in South Africa, it's majority of the time it's older guys. It's not necessarily your household names. If you get to see a household name play, you're lucky. I mean, Western Province Cricket Club has a very good pipeline. I feel not pipeline necessarily to the national side, but a pipeline of professional cricketers that come back and play for them. So that's really good to see that. Jeffrey Otiana's club, Soweto Cricket Club, if you're talking about now going into the Joburg Arena. Um, then you get more elite clubs like Greenpoint Cricket Club, Cape Town Cricket Club, Western Province Cricket Club, Claremont Cricket Club, etc. Now, Claremont Cricket Club as well, beautiful grounds. That's the one I was talking about. Very, very beautiful grounds. I think these clubs have no problems whatsoever. And it doesn't seem
So
that way. When they can charge for pitch, when they can put pizzas on their menu for 100 and a pizza, then you know that it's a different ball game. If you go to another club that maybe is still selling only toasted cheese, maybe, or toasted chicken and mayonnaise for 20, 30 rand. So it's a different mentality and mindset, at these different clubs.
so I've been to the Western Province Cricket Club, and I believe I've been to the Claremont Cricket Club. These
And
two have been, and they're unbelievable.
yeah,
They're state of the art. Like these sorts of clubs don't exist in Mumbai, even. I assure you.
but that's my point.
Yeah,
It's
they're
almost a
loaded.
travesty that we have some of these grounds almost look better than some of our stadiums grounds.
Yes,
That's how crazy
yes,
it is. So,
yes.
like for these grounds, I mean, we should be investing a lot into our pipeline so that these players get to play that. I mean,
Yeah,
if they can't get into a good school to play, then at least they could get into a good club to play. A club could sponsor a kid. The membership fees at these clubs as well is ridiculously expensive. Like I looked at some of them and I was like, wow, if I want to become a member and I'm not even a cricketer, because clubs also make money. Like I know Western Province Cricket Club make money on memberships too. They've got memberships so you can use their nets, the squash courts, the gym, the swimming pool area. There's a bar over there as well upstairs within Western Province Cricket Club. You probably saw that. So there's a lot of parties happen. People will have their functions over there too. So there's a lot. But guys, that's all we have for you today. What I tried to do to you is just to give you guys some insight into our latest issue, which is the Club Cricket edition. It's just supposed to warm you up to Club Cricket a little bit. It's the first ever issue that we did. There's a free subscription for it, and you can get it right away. The link is on the screen now as well as in the description. So go ahead and get your copy. It's now available for you guys right now, and you'll get access to all the back issues as well. If you do so, right? If you subscribe.
Um, what's the cost of membership to the Western Province Cricket Club?
Um, yeah, I don't actually know, to be fair. Um, if I look, let me just go and look quickly. I'm sure it's on their website. It's Cricket Club. I'm sure it's on their website. Membership. Here we go. And this is just an example. We're not trying to single them out. I'm only speaking about them because they're literally around the corner from me. I can walk to them. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm mentioning them, because I know more about them because I've went to go check. What happened? The website's changed. Weird. Um, they used to have membership pavilion, membership dress code, fixtures, about us. Yeah, they their thing changed. Um, yeah, I can't tell you that, Aditya. Um, I thought it would be easy to find here, but it's not. I don't know if you're looking as well. Um, Sports membership application forms. They only have an application form here. Um, Debt family membership application form, senior member application form, 19 plus years. Let's just look at that. Um, da, da, da. Here we go. So, um, entrance fee 28 plus years, 800 rand. Select joining month and then circle the applicable charges in that column. So entrance fee for 28 plus years is 800 rand right through the year. Then entrance fee between from 19 to 27 years is 400 rand, and the membership card admin fee for rejoining members only is 130. So subscription category, select an option. Lifetime member is 86,900 rand. That's probably a year. Um, Ordinary member 28 plus is 4,345 rand. And then you've got your other things that you can become a part of: bowls, senior cricket, hockey, Oaks Club, running, squash, all of those type of things. So it seems that to be a life member, it's about 86,000 rand a year, or 87,000 rand a year. That sounds, that's quite pricey, I guess. Um, oh, that includes, Lawrence says that Greenpoint has a student registration fees of 1,500 rand. That includes kit as well. Some clubs are in the thousands. So yeah, that's to give some insight into it. Okay, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to download that latest issue. That's why we did the show today, to give you guys some insight into the Club Cricket Edition. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell for all future videos. And we'll see you again tomorrow with another Q&A session that we have at 7 p.m. Take care, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks a lot, Aditya. Peace.